In this video, we are going to analyze two things. Number one, the trends coming out of TCS, Infosys and HCL quarterly results that were announced earlier this week. Number two, if you are somebody who is struggling with communication, want to do better with communication with your manager, with interviewer, in any other setup as well, this structured communication and this thought process that we are utilizing in this video will help you get better. Please go ahead, click on that like button. I'm 100% sure that you will like this video, and do let me know in the comments box if you do not like this video, what are the reasons. So let's get started with the first insight. TCS, Infosys and HCL all have been very cautious with respect to their employee headcount numbers. After growing their headcounts for like close to 7-8 quarters continuously, this is the first time they are being cautious. Number one, TCS mentioned that their net headcount has come down from 616,000, that is 616,000 numbers, to 613,000 numbers. Net headcount reduction of 2,500 numbers. Infosys, on the other hand, they mentioned their numbers have increased, the total headcount, but there is a catch over there. The utilization of the employees, excluding freshers, has come down to 81%. That is lower compared to what it was in the previous quarter or what it was in the same quarter last year. Now, what does this tell us? That hey, utilization is going down. The number of people on the bench, the number of people who are not working in these companies is increasing, which means they will reduce the number of jobs that they are going to recruit for. What is in it for you and me? If you are in the job market, please understand the trends are definitely signaling some kind of worrying nature. Please be careful, please be cautious, and let's jump into the second insight. And before we jump into the second insight, I wanted you to take a pause, understand what is the structure I'm using to come up with that first insight. Number one, I talked about what's the headline, that hey, TCS, Infosys, HCL are being cautious. And number two, I'm supporting with some data points. The data points being, hey, the number of headcount in TCS is coming down, the number of headcount in Infosys is increasing, but the utilization is falling down. I'm using data to prove my headline. And finally, I'm giving you a takeaway for, hey, what is in it for you and what's in it for me. Understand why, what, and how. All these three things are coming up in this entire analysis. Now let's jump into the second insight, and this second insight is about the industries where they are struggling to grow. TCS, HCL and Infosys, for all of them, banking and financial sector services is their top industry from which they get the most revenues. And across all these three companies, the revenues have come down for this particular vertical, indicating that there is trouble in the BFSI sector. Now, it's not just the trouble in the BFSI sector, but even in the adjacent sectors through which a lot of these companies are working. For example, smaller IT companies which are providing services to BFSI clients like banks, investment banks, insurance companies, all these companies are now running behind efficiency. So they are saying, we want to consolidate our vendors and we want to be more efficient. So there is an issue not just for these big companies, but even for the smaller companies. What's in it for you and for me? Specifically, the job market is not doing very well. We all know that. And this is even more important with respect to banking, financial services, insurance, mortgages, these kind of sectors. On the other hand, the sectors which are performing very well for these companies are energy, manufacturing, utilities, so on. So the traditional sectors are something which are doing very well, including life sciences and pharma, and BFSI, high tech, these sectors are coming down. Now, how did we analyze this insight? Number one, we initially talked about that, hey, these are the sectors that are going to troubles. Then we compared it with the data that we already have, that TCS, HCL and Infosys, all these guys are facing problems. The revenues in these sectors is dropping down for everybody. The third insight is what's in it for you and what's in it for me. If you're again looking for a job, not very clear that, hey, BFSI is going through a lot of trouble, but alternatively, some other sectors like energy, utilities, these are going well. I hope you are getting the structure. Now, the third insight that I want to talk about is, hey, what are some of the projects, what are some of the services that these guys are talking about? Continuously, all the three folks have mentioned in their commentary that cloud is one of their big things. TCS COO, Mr. NJS, has mentioned about this topic multiple times in his commentary. And HCL CEO has talked about cloud in the 5 or 6 sentences that he has written in the leadership commentary section. And Infosys mentioned that the cloud division, which falls under their digital services category, that revenue has increased from 61.8% to 63%. That's one of the few places where they are seeing revenue growth. Now, in this analysis, I did not look into numbers completely. I was talking about qualitative inputs as well, coming from TCS, COO, and HCL CEO. Not every time you need to support your analysis with numbers. You can also come up with qualitative insights. And what's in it for you and what's in it for me? If you are somebody who is looking for the job switch, if you are somebody who is looking to grow quickly in your career right now, cloud is one of the best places. Digital transformations is another place. Cost effectiveness, cost optimization, cost transformation studies is another place. Understand where you can focus, understand where you can potentially get a certification, right? I hope you understand what structured communication means through this video. Number one, share that glowing headline. This is the headline. And then start with, these are the reasons why I believe this headline is true. Some data related facts are non-data related facts. And finally, always ensure what's in it for the audience versus not. I hope you like this video. Please go ahead, click on that like button, subscribe to the channel, and also share it with your friend who is preparing for management consulting interviews. Thank you guys, take care, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.